Uh, Abstract brainwaves, game genie in a beanie. We ain't on the same stage, leveled up. The epitome of technique, can't survive in my current thought.
Other yellow hat guy here, back with another video, and I'm back before you had a chance to miss me. So I've got some issues going on with my arm. It's like an abscess or something there. I'm gonna get that taken care of, but it's kept me from doing things that I normally do, like making content. It's drained a lot of energy between that and the snow. I haven't really felt like myself, but here it's a new month, new, beginnings and all of that. And speaking of new, we've got Sony with a new move that they're doing, okay? Last time, Gaming News, we talked what Microsoft was doing when they purchased Activision Blizzard, and we're waiting on that review to happen to make sure that it's perfectly legal. All the legal language and everything, all that stuff has to play out. Meanwhile, what was Sony going to do? Turns out Sony already was in the works of doing something. Maybe Microsoft was aware of this, maybe they weren't. But Sony purchased Bungie for $3.6 billion. That's a far cry, no pun intended, of what Microsoft, well, it wouldn't really be a pun, right? Ubisoft owns Far Cry. But anyway, it's a far cry of what Microsoft paid for Activision Blizzard. Now, granted, Bungie is just Bungie and is known for Destiny and not much else. Activision Blizzard has a plethora of games. Now, I don't even put a comment saying not much else. Yes, Halo. I was getting there. Bungie started off the Halo franchise for Microsoft. So, if Call of Duty were to somehow get all the perks and exclusivity over there at Microsoft, even though Microsoft says, hey, we're not going to not have it on other platforms, what the real outcome is the best stuff, the time exclusive stuff is going to be on Xbox. There's no point in buying this franchise or having the rights to it if you're not going to say, hey, on Xbox you get this, this, and this. If it was going to be the same on PlayStation, it doesn't make sense at all. Unless Sony were to in turn give up something that would also benefit Microsoft. And now they have something. Destiny 3, PS5 exclusive? Well, maybe not. Bungie maintains their right to be independent. So I don't know how good of a deal this is for Sony since, it's still they get to be independent, but, they're independent in the sense that they're Bungie and they're not absorbed into, PlayStation Studios or whatever, Santa Monica Studios. They're not absorbed in any of that. And they, I guess, can still make games for other companies. I'm not too sure about that, but it seems like they have more freedom than they did working over at Microsoft. Could be wrong about that too, but that's the feeling I have based off of what was read. So I'm excited about it a little bit, only because it's like, all right, Sony at least responded. They're at least thinking, they're at least doing something. And I'm not a Destiny person either. So doesn't really affect me in the same way that Call of Duty doesn't affect me, but Spyro, Crash Bandicoot will affect me in some way, some form. But it's good to be able to have all of the systems, right? To be able to play on PC and still have Switch, PS5, and Xbox. You're not going to be missing out on anything. So I would love it to be to where I don't need all three and I could just say, you know what? This is how I'm going to choose to do it. I'm going to have the Switch and maybe PlayStation. I felt like Halo and past Microsoft titles was an attractive opinion to get an Xbox, even if I turn it on the least out of the three systems. But let's just be honest. That's the best thing Microsoft can do, is to allow you to have access to all the old libraries, because that's their strength right now, to me. Whereas Nintendo and Sony, they're lacking in that area. They're so lacking in that. Nintendo, it should be a no-brainer to have all that old content there, as much as they go after after individuals who make these emulators and allow these ROMs, to be uploaded. It's like, well, make it available. I'm not saying that those guys are right in providing that stuff, but you need to make it available so that there's one less excuse. And why would you not want it available? You expect people to still have the Virtual Boys around? Yeah, the fans and the collectors do, but the technology has gotten so much better that those games don't take up that much space. I mean, a couple of gigabytes, you've got these libraries there, put the stuff out there. Add that to the Nintendo Switch Online. I think the big thing about the Switch Online is the pricing point that they have doesn't justify it to a lot of people who are against it, myself included. You can argue with me all day that it is justifiable when you compare it to other offerings, but I'm comparing it to Nintendo themselves, meaning the virtual shop and all of that. You set the tone there for me as to what you expect the stuff to be appraised for. So then when you try to switch up on people, it looks a little weird. It looks a little... It doesn't feel right. It's just like it feels predatory, even though it's their own IP. But you go from, hey, it's $5 on this platform, and now on this newer platform, it's like $10. And then you don't keep the stuff. It's monthly. It's like, no, keep that, and then you know what? $5 a month for Virtual Boy if people want Virtual Boy content. Because the reality is, Nintendo is giving you a monthly title, just a monthly title. And it's Nintendo 64. It ain't Switch. Like PS5 is giving you two, or Sony's giving you two, PlayStation titles, and they're PS5, PS4, or whatever. Microsoft is giving you the games with gold. So Nintendo, it just looks a little weird there when they try to compare all that. So back to Bungie, I'm wondering if there's other games in the pipeline. It'd be nice to see if they can do something other than FPS games. That would pique my interest, or just, I don't know, was Destiny at some point not free to play? Because I feel like you could find copies of Destiny for like $2-3 at a GameStop somewhere. So moving on from that story, we've got a Nintendo title that's a PlayStation title. Don't get too excited. Crash Bandicoot, although is on the Switch, Jak and Daxter is not coming to Switch. God of War is not coming to Switch, at least not in this article that I'm reading from. All right, comicbook.com, all these different sites, Eurogamer, you can find the same link somewhere. So by now it's not news anymore. MLB The Show, which is also on Xbox, is coming to the Nintendo Switch. I don't know if graphically it's going to be inferior or whatever, because I also don't play this game. But I thought it's worth sharing because it's a rare instance where Sony is willing to work with Nintendo. And I think it's more the developers saying, look, we've already got it on Microsoft. We really want this cross-play amongst all. That's going to really help us the best, as if we'd rather people play it than just say, I'm playing it on PlayStation. The days are gone where people are like, hey, I'm only playing it on this system because it's that, right? You can say that's still there, but look what just happened. People bought Grand Theft Auto on the Switch. They supported that because it's portable. Whereas graphically, you would be choosing between PlayStation and Xbox. But you don't have to do that. You don't. You can double dip, triple dip, whatever. So companies are starting to see that appeal, especially when you look at something that can be handheld. Only they're doing that over at Nintendo. So there's a attraction there. You want to just do digital type stuff, hey, there's an attraction for Xbox, right? And then you want, the high definition or whatever, hey, there's an appeal for the Sony there too, even though Xbox can do the same thing, but it depends on which Xbox you've got, right? You got the one that I got, which is digital only, bam. Not too many people are talking about the digital only PlayStation. I feel like you should go ahead and take advantage of the 4K UHD Blu-ray player. Maybe the Xbox has that too. I don't remember because I obviously went the other direction, but either way, you can't go wrong is what I'm trying to say. you can't go wrong. Graphically, you don't like it on Switch. Hey, you've got it portable though. That's the trade-off there. And companies are like, there's an advantage for having it on all three. Let's just let this console war stuff taper off a little bit, because let's just be honest, it's not like you can find all three of the current things as easy right now. Yeah, you can find Switch in the wild and you can find an OLED Switch, but it ain't super easy. It's just going to be easier than finding the Xbox and the PlayStation. Moving on from that, the last little bit of news that I wanted to share with you guys was Pokemon Arceus. And I'm choosing to say Arceus now and not Arceus. I've heard some people say Arceus, but all the Pokemon people that I know are saying Arceus. So I do have that game. I did get that. I haven't played it yet. And I'm going to try to do both Arceus and Brilliant Diamond like simultaneously. I'm going to try to go back and forth between one and the other. I really feel like I'll have more fun with Arceus, but Brilliant Diamond being traditional and the fact that I should have finished it by now, I'm really going to put in, you know, as much effort as I can to get that out of the way. But whether I like Arceus or not, I am going to play some of that for you guys on Twitch, so be on the lookout for that. That being said, I think that's all the news that I've got. I don't know of any February games I'm looking for. I know Horizon is supposed to come out, so that should be a good game for those who are going to play it. Me, I'm probably just going to be looking forward to Kirby and catching up on this backlog. I love you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, share as always. Thank you for those who did show some concern. If you did, I am okay. It's just, you know, it's life. You know, you have stuff come up, stuff happens. So I would love to just tell you, hey, every day I've put out content and that's a consistent thing, but people get sick. You have deaths in families. You get, you know, just job changes, different things, all that stuff happens. So relationships change, you know, come and go. So keep that in mind as I try to be more consistent. More Mario Maker on the way. See you guys in the next one. Other Yellow Hat Guy out. Captain Sensation!